Hi, my name is Jackson Price, and this will be my instructional video on how to build the stage for my Eagle Scout project. What you see right here is the almost completed. It's not yet painted and it doesn't have the sides on, but this is what we will be building. This is almost what the finished product will look like. Okay, so your first step is you want to get 4 4x4s. This is what they look like. You want to place them in a square like this. And what you want to do is you want to have them 48 inches apart on the outside. So right here, you want to have that lined up right there. And then what you want to do for the length is you want to make the length 6 feet. Right here. Okay, and for your next step, you want to grab piece A. This is what it looks like. And for this side, our shorter side, you want to have it the middle at 24, just like that. And you want to have the tall side facing in. And this is for all of piece A. You want to have the tall side facing in. And for this measurement, what you want is 19.5 inches. Right here, 19.5. In between this side, you want this side and this side to be 19.5 apart. And you want the same thing for this side too, 19.5 apart. Okay, so once you have all of your piece A's set up and this end are 19.5 inches apart, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be attaching our piece B. This is our piece B. They will be labeled. And what we're gonna end up doing is putting our piece B right here, and it will end up lining up kind of like this. But what we're gonna have to do before that is we're going to have to screw in brackets. So you're gonna grab your 4x4 and you're gonna grab a bracket. This is your bracket, and you want the long side facing up. You want the long side facing up. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our spacers, because the end of this board is the same as this, so we're gonna place it right here to make sure it has enough space. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna line it up here, make sure everything's good, just like that. And then you're gonna we're gonna use the small screws. These are our small screws. You're gonna get your drill and you're gonna screw it in just like this. Start at each end so it doesn't wiggle around. Now we have this, and it's lined up with our board, and it's flush across here. There's no gap or anything like this. It's flush across here. So now we're gonna screw the rest in. And then we're gonna end up screwing our long board in just like this. And again, you want the long side up. So we're gonna repeat this step on all the other 4x4s. So what we're gonna have to do for the next step, and while we're doing this this step, another scout could be doing this first step and putting these brackets on all the other 4x4s. We are going to have to install another bracket, because what we're going to do is, just like we did with piece B, this will be piece C. These will connect, so we're gonna have to put another bracket and another bracket, and for the other end as well. So what we're gonna have to do is, we're gonna have to screw in another bracket, which, just like we did before, we want the long side facing up. We're gonna get our spacer block. We're gonna line up our spacer block so that it's flush here and flush here. And I have it just like this, and our long side is facing up. And the bracket might move a little bit, so what you can do is you can move it with your hand a little bit, and if it's too tight to move with your hand, what you'll do on your drill is, see this arrow points backwards towards you. You press that in, and you can loosen the screw a little bit so it's easier to move to get it straight. Now, once you have it straight, you can screw it back in. Double check that it's all lined up, and then you can screw the rest in. And it's good, even on both sides. And we're gonna repeat this process. See how it has 2 on each side, just like this. This is our corner. And I have this one done as well. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure this is still evenly spaced. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide it in. So this is what we're gonna eventually end up doing. Okay, so for this next step, we're gonna be putting this side together like this, and we're gonna be doing the shorter side first with piece C. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of lay it down. Just lay it down, and that's gonna help keep everything straight. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start screwing these brackets in. So we are going to want to make sure that these are perfectly level, as you can see, that it's, you know, flush with it, it's not sticking out too much. You can see the top right here, it's perfectly lined up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with one screw in the top one. And then we're going to get this. This is called a square. Even though it looks like a triangle, it's called a square. So this is your square. And what it does is it measures a perfect 90-degree angle. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it right here. And as you can see, there's no big gaps or anything. You know, right here, you can maybe adjust it a little bit, get it a little bit more square. You can see right there, it's holding at a 90-degree angle. You're gonna take your drill again, and you're gonna screw in the bottom screw. And then the rest. So you have this, it's flush, it's level, all good right here. And while one scout is doing this side, another scout can be doing the other, and then 2 other scouts can be doing the other end. Okay, for our next step, we're gonna be screwing in piece A to piece C, and the exact same thing on the opposite side. And again, 2 scouts can also be doing this at the same time, one on this side, one on the other. So as you can see, it is at 24 inches. It's in the middle. The middle of the board is lined up with 24 inches. It's still laying down. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna check that it is at a 90-degree angle with the square. And we're gonna have them diagonally. We're gonna have one here and one here, or one here, or and one here, but you want them diagonal. And you can see it is still square. You can see that it is still square, and there's a screw here and a screw here. Okay, so after we have these 2 sides screwed in and the piece C screwed into piece B, we will stand both sides up. And what then we're gonna do is we're gonna take piece B and I'm sorry, these are piece A. This is piece B. We're gonna take piece B and we're gonna use that to kind of help line it up. We're just gonna put these under here for now so it holds them. They don't have to be 19.5 inches apart for right now. So what we're gonna do is, we are going to screw these in. Now, it might be a little off. So what you're gonna do is, you're just gonna try and move it in, get it adjusted like this. Get that all kind of moved. And then you're going to want to get your drill, and you want to be careful here so that you don't get your finger caught with the screw. And you can also have another scout help you with this, but they would hold it back here. You want to have your finger away from the screw. You might want to hold it in so it doesn't push the board away. And right here, there we go. We have this one. And then you're gonna want to use your square. See how it has this edge right here? This edge. You're gonna line it up along here and have it like this. So this edge catches right here. And if it's not 100% square and straight, that's all right. But you want it mostly. Then you're gonna take your other screws. And then this will be done right here. And as well as this step, as many of the other steps, you also want these flush. You want to make sure they're not poking up. And you can be doing this on all 4 corners and having other scouts help you hold the boards. And for our next step, once we have this end screwed in, what we're going to do is we're going to need to screw these piece A's into piece B. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna get your tape measure, and from the end of this board right here to the end of this board, the 4x4 in piece A, the 2 ends, you are going to want it to be 19.5 inches, which we have marked here on this one. 19.5 inches, this edge to this edge. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to grab two long screws. And you are going to do it diagonal again. You can hold it like this. You can also have another scout help you. You're gonna screw one in there, and you wanna make sure that they're pretty flush, pretty even. Square. And you're also going to want to make sure that it's square here, 90-degree angle, and standing upright, straight. And you are going to repeat the step. You can see edges lined up, 19.5 inches. And it should be the same thing, the outer edges on the other one. And in the middle, it should be about 19.5 inches. If it's a little more, a little less, that's all right. But you want it around 19 inches in between here. Okay, so for our next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay two pieces in the middle so the supports can go off of it. So you're gonna take this is gonna be your longest piece. And what you're gonna do with this, you're gonna have two scouts. One is gonna hold it up on this side and one is gonna hold it on this side. Kind of hold it in place because they won't always hold themselves. You know, you're gonna wanna make sure this is all flush too. Maybe you're gonna wanna move this down a bit. And then you're gonna get two long screws. And you're gonna screw it in on the side right here.
Is it flush at the top?
Yep, it's flush at the top. Okay, so for our next step, we're gonna be putting our longest boards and we're gonna slide them in here like this, in the middle right here. And we're gonna have one on each side. So I'm gonna show you this one. So what you wanna do is you wanna hold it here, you wanna have one scout holding it, and then another scout is gonna screw it in on each side. Because you can do this at the same time. So, you're gonna have another scout holding it and making sure that this is flush and it's lined up with the edge. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your drill and you're gonna put two screws in. One right here, and then another right here. And you're gonna repeat this process on the other side, or on the other end. Okay, for our next step, we wanna hold off on putting this board on the other side. So for this step, we only want one board right here. We do not want to put our other board on. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna be lining these up. These are about as tall as the 4x4s on the side. So that's how you'll know which piece to use. What you want to do is, we're gonna be lining these up with all the other, with these. And how we're gonna do that, we're gonna put that here, and then we're gonna take our board to help us make sure that it's all lined up. You want to put your board like that so that it's across. And you want to make sure you want it a little bit further because you want it just in the middle If it's not perfect, that's all right, but you want it about like that. So that one's good. And then we're gonna move on to this one. We're gonna see, there again, line it up like this. Place this one down, just like that. Okay, for our next step, we have everything screwed in, so we're gonna get our next piece. We're not gonna lay it on the other side like that just yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pieces, same as these, a little bit taller than these. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna just use this as a template and just line them up with the board. Make sure this board is lined up with this edge. Make sure that they're lined up. And just what you're gonna do, you're gonna push it together. And what you can do is you can have one scout hold this one steady while the other drills. You're gonna put 2 screws in. And then you're gonna repeat the process for these 2 more. And now, what we're gonna be doing, after you have those screwed in, what's gonna happen is, we're gonna flip it like this and slide this in, because you wouldn't be able to fit your drill in between this gap. So for example, this is what it would be like. You slide it in like this, and then you screw it in on the other side. But these would be same spots. Okay, so this is what it should look like finished. So now you have this. What you're gonna do is, we're just gonna take it, move this just like this, and it's just gonna, you may have to wiggle it a little bit. And you may have to use your hammer to kind of help push things in. You can also use your hand, but be careful. Might be a little tricky to get in, but you're gonna wanna have another scout help you do this. You're gonna wanna have it like this. You're gonna put it in like this. And then first is what you're gonna do. You're gonna screw in this side, or right here, just like we did right here. You're gonna do this to both sides. And then you're also gonna screw in 2 screws here, just like we did right here and right here. And two scouts can be screwed in the sides, and more scouts can be screwing these in right here. Okay, so once we have the side flipped over and these sides screwed in here, you can also screw them in there, like this or like that, whichever one's easier. What you want to do is, you want to line these up. We want to screw in right here. Just how we screwed in 2 screws right there, we want to screw in 2 right here, so that stays on there. And then what we're gonna do is, we're gonna make sure that all of these are square, just like how we have this one lined up. It's right across here, it's flush, you know, it's not sticking up too far, not down too low. We're gonna take our square, make sure that it's all lined up, as you can see it is. And you're gonna take 2 long screws, and you're just gonna screw it in, one there, and then we're gonna put another one there. And we're gonna do this for all 3 along here. And what you can do is, sometimes they'll wiggle on you. You can have a buddy or another scout hold it up for you, but be careful of your hands. Hold it up. You can get a screw in, and to make sure it's flush and even. You'll repeat this process for these 3, and then we're almost done. Okay, this is our second to last step for the base and the top. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our big piece of plywood. You're gonna have other scouts help you do this though. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna move it on top right here. And we wanna make sure that it's all lined up. All lined up here. All lined up there. It may be a little tricky, but with some more guys, it'll be easier. And if it's a tiny, tiny bit just like this, you know, almost a fingernail, that's all right. But if it's more than that, we can cut another piece. Let us know, we'll cut another piece for you. And then we'll get that all worked out. So what we're gonna do is, now we're gonna have to screw in the corners. Okay, now, once you have it mostly lined up, you're gonna double check. You're gonna put your square right here. See how it lines up here? Lines up here. If it's not, what you can do is you can take your square, hit it a little bit so that it kind of lines up. And then we're going to take our long screws. You want to get it all lined up. You can have buddies help you, other scouts help you. And what we're going to do is for now, we're going to get our long screw, not too close to the corner because the wood will split. But you're going to take it, one long screw in. Now you're going to do that for each other sides, for all the other sides. Like over here. We're going to look here. Right here. Just like that. And then you're gonna do that for the other 2 sides. And once everything's in place, everything's even, you can screw in the rest. Okay, so after we have the rest of the top on, we will pop chalk lines and you will screw them in 2 along the line. So you'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll screw them in like so.